This is the first in a series of tutorials to help TDOers make very good use of the image organizer and the filtering capabilities within the image organizer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press hide to hide the personal information, and then I'm going to go into the image organizer. And when the image organizer comes up, you can see you're familiar with the interface, and over on the left is you'll see this funnel, and that is the filter for the image organizer. And when that comes up, you can see that there's an interface. I'll just briefly review the interface. You can filter by any practice doctor or all doctors within a practice. You can filter by any one particular referring doctor or all referring doctors. You can also filter by any date range. Here are the standard date ranges, or you can specify a particular date range that you are interested in. Below that are some general kind of filters. For example, I may want to filter only by cases that are currently in treatment, or alternatively, I may want to only filter my completed cases or cases where I did a consult but no endodontic procedures were performed. Or I can filter by my super recall cases or the general wave procedure. Below that is another list of all of your image categories. And you can check all of these or uncheck them. And below that, so what does that mean? That means I can filter by any one particular category or any combination of categories or all the categories. And I'll give an example of why you may do that. Uh, the display only if all are present means that if you have multiple categories chosen, if you want them to be displayed only if all of them are present, then you click that box. So let's do an example. A common problem we hear at technical support is, oh, I've lost an image, or I think an image is in the wrong patient. I can't find it. Can you help me find it? With the filter, this is very easy to do. So let's just pick the current date ranges this month. I I suspect I have lost a picture somewhere. So what I'll do is I will check all categories. I'm going to uncheck patient picture because I don't want any patient pictures to show. And I'm going to do a query. Please bring up all images that I took this month, and maybe I can find the image that I've lost. So you simply apply the filter, and then you go up and you choose all patients. And up comes an interface where these are all of the images, all of the pictures that have been acquired into TDO. As you click on them, they come up on the left. You can see them. And if you've lost an image, certainly you will recognize it when you look at it. And it will tell you the details of the image. And if it's in the wrong patient's folder, you can right click and you can categorize the image or change it into the correct patient. Another powerful feature in the image organizer is because we have the integration, any cone beam picture that you uh, pick on, you can bring up into draw, right click, open into draw. It loads it into draw. If you want to actually load the volume, and it doesn't matter whether you have a Merida, a Prexion, or a Kodak, if you simply go to the image, right click, and open the volume, it will open that volume and allow you to manipulate the scan in real time. So no matter what cone beam unit you're using Merida that integrate with TDO, the Merida, the Prexion, or the Kodak, you have immediate access to those volumes through your image organizer. Now, just for practice, let's do another kind of query. So let's go into the query engine. I'll close the image organizer, go back to the image organizer now, and do a new query. I go into the filter, and I want to look at all of the cone beams that I have taken, say, in the last 3 months, from October to December. So this will bring up all Prexion images that I've taken. Now I apply the filter to all patients. And now these are all of my Prexion images that I took during this quarter. And you can also filter them now. These are filtered alphabetically by patient name, but I can filter them by patient too. You simply go to group by patient name, and now it separates them out per patient. Where this is really helpful is when you're looking at your recalls. So let's go back to the image organizer, do a new filter, and let's use, I'm going to uncheck all, let's use the recall 1 star. And what the recall 1 star is, most of you probably know, it will bring up all recalls. Let's say I want to look at the current year. All of the recalls that I've done this year, and what it does is it'll bring up those recalls if they were done this year, but it will also bring up the pre-op and post-op radiographs no matter when they were done. So they could have been done 20 years ago. The query will bring the pre-op one, post-op one, and all the recalls that have been done to date. And so this is a very, very powerful query. Let's go ahead and run it. I'm going to apply the query for the current year. And again, I go up to all patients, and this is in real time. Look how fast that query is. These are all of the recalls I've done this year, bringing all the pre-op and post-ops no matter when they were done. For example, this is the pre-op one on Marcia. I have two pre-op ones here, one with a gutta-percha cone. This is the post-op, and these are the recalls. This is a pre-op on Marcia as well. So I categorize sometimes my screenshots from the CBCT as a pre-op as well. So this gives you a lot of ability to really take a close look at your recalls. You can also filter here by patient name. So it will filter those recalls by your patient name, and you will have the pre-op and post-op even if they were done 20 years ago. For example, scrolling through these, here's a case that I did back in 2002, and I have a recall in 2018. So it makes it very nice to go through your cases this way. And if you really want to actually look at the case, you have that capability through the image organizer, through the right-click function. Simply right-click, view patient images, and what the image organizer will do, it will split into two and bring up that patient in the lower image organizer. So here are those images while you still maintain your query on the top image organizer. So it's very useful for putting lecture material together to do your queries this way. It's very, very powerful.